Hey y'all, Scott here. Check out the latest new game Nintendo released to the public. Okay, if I'm real honest with you, I don't know what the fuck to do with this intro. It's been 15 minutes and I can't write a fucking intro. Hello, President of Nintendo. It looks like there's a huge pandemic across the world, and our competitors are releasing their next-gen consoles. What should we do?
Nintendo.
That's a genius idea! Why didn't I think about it before?
Are you winning, Mario? Wait, Luigi, it's not what you think.
Okay, Mario. Neck ass.
Hey yo, what's good guys? King of Nintendo here. So basically Nintendo's fucking up. We gotta talk about that in the good old fashioned Sillyrally. No! Fuck Sillyrally! So it's good old me, DJ. Y'all know I'm the good old professional Nintendo king. So here we are to talk about some Nintendo fuck-ups that I have had pent up in me this entire fucking time. Now we have all dealt with this fucking pandemic ever since March of 2020, and with that came out Animal Crossing New Horizons. I think we can all agree that if you pick this game up on release date or even somewhere through the summer, it was a definite fun experience to go through the little story in the beginning and develop your little town from there. But then there's some little nooks in the game that can somewhat bother the player, pun completely intended. Compared to the previous games, there's not as much furniture really, and there's not too much personality either with all the villagers. Most of the time you'll be finding some repeating dialogue. And in my opinion, of the guy who's played every Animal Crossing game and got his wish on most of the biggest demands for mechanics in the game, I find New Horizons the most unfun to play. With 3D All-Stars, I think we all know how much I hammered into that with my own video. Fuck you, silly, for taking that clip of my video, you son of a bitch. But I'll repeat some of those big points with 3D All-Stars problem. Right around Animal Crossing's good old release date, which was March 20th, 2020, 3D All-Stars began its development cycle. Now, if you're facing this scrunch up just like mine did, allow me to repeat myself. March 2020 was the beginning of development for 3D All-Stars. Now, along with the fact that we have found evidence that the Switch now has an official emulator for these 3D games, yes, you heard me right, these games are emulated, we can pretty much just assess that this right here is just some lazy ass shit. Now, let's head into something we have gone on to Nintendo before, and yes, while this isn't technically at 2020's exact year, at its core, online mode, Joy-Con drift, and the basic user interface is still pretty fucked. Now, while I'm eating my own words, since writing this script was a minor update for the Switch interface, it's not much. It's been about 3 years without somewhat of a proper update. Now, I'm aware we've got some minor changes such as full game listing and other options such as the minor update from yesterday. I'm more rather pissed at the fact we haven't gotten themes, achievements, more personalization, and an actual alive feeling to the Switch. While having the Switch itself out of the dock is somewhat personalized, it's as if when you enter the home screen, it's so dead and you just have the game panels there. Now, we know Nintendo can't do this because hackers have already managed to pull this off with Homebrew and everything. So what's holding them back? They made some bank with the 3DS themes because, I mean, they got some of my money. So why not the Switch? Now, don't get me even started on Joy-Con drift or drift in general. Fortunately, I haven't dealt with Joy-Con drift, but I have dealt with Pro Controller drift. Now, if you aren't sure what drift is, I'll quickly explain it to you. Drifting is when either the motion sensors or the analog sticks are sending out inputs to your Switch despite the fact you're not really doing anything. So basically, the Switch thinks you're constantly pressing the left side of the stick, even though you're not even fucking touching the controller. Now, one may think, what causes this? My GameCube controller doesn't have this problem. My Wii remote doesn't have this problem. That's the relative issue here. Many have tried to determine this reason, and it's pointed a lot at dust and debris getting into your controller or the controller itself wearing out from the inside. But let's not even forget that we've had multiple lawsuits this year about, guess what? Joy-Con drift. Now, the issue that the lawsuit was mainly targeting was the fact that Nintendo isn't doing their proper job to fix this. Now, yes, you could argue that Nintendo is offering to fix this, but the fact it's consistently happening in a short matter of time is in fact true. Nintendo isn't doing a good job of preventing this. You could say they're simply throwing a band-aid on this issue and saying it's just a vice with their little own repair shop, yet you have to pay for shipping, so allow me to remind you that. It's repetitive and simply irritating to deal with entirely. You have to ship your controllers to Nintendo, wait for them to fix it, and yeah, that's not a big deal. I don't really care if I have to wait 2 weeks for my Pro Controller to just fucking work. I can use my Joy-Cons. But it's rather the fact that this happens to begin with. This hasn't happened with the GameCube controller. This hasn't happened with the 64 controller. This hasn't happened with the Wii Remote controller. Why is this happening in the first place? I'll leave it off there. I got more to come when it comes to bashing Nintendo, so take a look for that. But I'll say this. Age of Calamities is really fucking fun. Thank you, Nintendo. Oh, and Melee. Don't worry. I got a special somebody to take away for this one.
Howdy everyone, it is I, fighting game connoisseur and bronze enthusiast Rose.
So I'm making it out of bronze today, fellas. Bunch of shit.
bad. I got fucked up. Whatever, man.
I'm here to talk to y'all about Super Smash Bros. Melee and the hashtag free Melee thing that's been going around lately. Now, if you don't know anything about the hashtag free Melee movement, let me catch you up to speed. A couple of weeks ago, the tournament The Big House was sent a cease and desist by Nintendo, causing them to stop hosting the Melee part of their tournament due to the use of a mod called Slippy, which gives rollback netcode to the Dolphin emulator. Now, I can see why Nintendo would do this for Melee, considering it's also one of their biggest IPs, but that doesn't make it any less fucking bullshit, considering A, if you want to play Melee, you gotta pay a fuck ton of money for it. B, it hasn't even been re-released yet since 2001. C, the only way to play Melee online is through netplay, and if you want good netcode, it'd have to be through Slippy. And D,
it's one of the biggest viewing games in the FGC.
I really don't see the point in them blocking some dudes having fun playing their 20-year-old game, considering they don't have any intentions of releasing it anytime soon. Also, don't think this hasn't happened before. I'll keep it real with you. Back in 2013, there was a charity fundraiser event in order to get your favorite fighting game on the main stage at EVO. Which, if you don't know what EVO is, it's like the biggest fighting game tournament of the year. Thousands of people around the world come to fly out to EVO in order to take a shot at winning a championship. Back to Melee though, Melee was able to raise an astounding $94,000 for their game, and for charity. Almost $20,000 more than the game behind it. Skullgirls at a whopping $78,000. You know what Nintendo had to say to that? Nah son, you can't broadcast our game because fuck you. There was a back and forth bickering between the Nintendo and the Melee community, which ultimately led to Melee being able to be broadcasted at EVO 2013 after Nintendo received serious backlash from the community. Rightfully so. I'll be honest, this game means a lot to me. Melee is the sole reason I have some of my best friends. The reason I was able to reignite the competitive spirit inside me, and the reasons I love fighting games so goddamn fucking much. Without it, I wouldn't have a lot of things to be honest, which is why we should keep going at Nintendo in order for them to let the Big House run their tournament and let us enjoy our fucking game. This ain't over until we get our goddamn fucking game back. Hashtag free Melee. That reminds me, I have to get a new copy of Melee. The fucking disc is so goddamn scratched up from years of wear and tear. How the hell am I gonna do that without paying so much goddamn money?
Emulation and piracy.
FBI, open up!
Hey yo, what's good guys? It is me, the king of I'm finally here to say that emulation is okay.
Whoa. What do you think you're doing here? You're talking about piracy as a good thing? Well, I am from Nintendo, and I say, no, you are not pirating any games. Every single time we release an old game, you have to buy it as a consumer, no matter the price. $20, $50, $40, $60, $100! You will buy all of our old games, regardless of what you think, my friend, or any of your other friends. You will bow to Nintendo's laugh.
Alright nigga, you gonna give me a copy of Banjo-Kazooie from 1998?
Banjo-Kazooie? Wait a minute. Whoa. Oh, this is terrible. Phooey! You want fun? Wario show you fun.
The idea that games can no longer be accessed to the public because they are no longer being produced is alright, but sometimes folks like to go back and replay the good games from the past. Whether the company stops producing these copies, fans will always find ways to reignite the passion of a valuable game. So it's the year 2020 and fellas be coding emulators from the ground up in order for your special ROMs and ISOs to run on the emulator. Now Nintendo is not a big fan of emulation of their titles. However, usage of emulators is very legal because they are built up with code that doesn't utilize assets from the company. On the other hand, game piracy is illegal. That means downloading all those ROMs of Chameleon Twist for the Nintendo 64 is a serious offense and you should go to jail. However, there is a justification for emulating old games, such as games that are exclusive to certain consoles that are not ported anywhere else, preservation, and possibly providing a better experience for those who want to play those classic games again, when the company themselves doesn't provide any means to play those games. Or they do provide means to play those games, but it isn't the best method to play the games, or if it's marketed as a remaster, the company doesn't do much to enhance the experience. For example, Mario 3D All-Stars. I know DJ made a reference about this in his segment, but his 3D All-Stars video is really fucking good. He goes all out in this fucking video, critiquing the entire game itself. Really good video.
Wow, gee, thanks, Sillyrally. It's not like you put in my fucking clip in earlier and made fun of it, you asshole!
Shut your bitch ass up! It makes me mad knowing that there are players like Rose that can't really have fun with the game he grew up with and play at his home, because they understand that there's a pandemic going on and motherfuckers need to practice social distancing.
Motherfucker. Shit, that's me.
Like most of the world, Nintendo has been practicing social distance protocol in an effort to prevent their employees from catching current world events. What I find confusing is Nintendo is shutting down an online Melee tournament. Keep in mind that the only way to play Melee is to have a physical copy or to emulate it. Due to the current world events, local tournaments for Melee cannot be hosted. So in order to keep the ball rolling for the scene, players have to turn to emulation and rollback netcode. All for free. Now here comes Nintendo. They fucking hate that shit. They shut down the tournament because of the rollback netcode program. Slippy. So what else is the Melee scene supposed to do? Play Ultimate and buy everything necessary just to play the game at a serviceable level? Because let's just face it, y'all know damn well that Nintendo online service is dog shit. Nintendo isn't gaining or losing anything from niggas playing on an advanced rollback netcode program, except a small group of people that don't play Ultimate, despite being the richest company in Japan right now. It baffles me that they care so much about losing a tiny number of sales from a community of people that they don't give a shit about. Like, get this shit. Nintendo says game piracy is a serious worsening international problem. Okay, bitch, let me do you one better. The easiest way to stop piracy is not by putting anti-piracy technology to work. It's by giving those people a service that is better than what they're receiving from the pirates. Gabe Newell. Fuck is they talking about? Here's the one thing that still fucking gets me. Take a look at this. Super Fighter M. Nigga, the fuck is a Fighter M? Is this a Fighter M? It's crazy that a bunch of devs from the depths of hell created this abomination.
I'll bathe you with coconut butter pie.
Like, Nintendo will do anything in the world to stop innocent people from playing Melee on a rollback netcode program, but whenever there are actual people ripping off models from Nintendo games, Nintendo does not bat an eye. Do you see why people are mad about Nintendo? Nintendo be taking down things for the wrong reasons. The bootleg game is still in the Play Store, for fuck's sakes. But to end this video, I love Nintendo and all, but fuck does it need to work out its problems. I'm sure they will improve in the next year, but for now, they need to work out their problems and improve as a company. Shout out to the homeboys DJ and Rose for being a part of this project. These two are very amazing content creators. I just want to give these two a platform to express their views about the current state of Nintendo.
Hey guys, you probably know who I am. Anyway, yeah, I did the voice for Wario in this video. It was a pleasure to work with my friend Sillyrally. I've known him for years, and I'm glad I'm able to put in a hand to help him with this, I guess. Anyway, for shameless self-promo, there's my Twitter account.
You can follow me if you want. It's up to you!
And be sure to subscribe to Sillyrally. I mean it, or I'll beat your ass.
Shout out to the homeboy WaffleSyrup on Twitter. You also may know him as the Wario meme. You know, the funny, wahaha, funny Wario meme. Yeah, that guy. Thanks for watching the video. It's been your man, Sillyrally, and I'm out of here.